Okay, so I have several lead acid batteries that I want to try to maintain. So I picked up this battery desulfator from Amazon. I think it was like, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks. And there are some of the documentation, if I can get this thing to hold still. Rejuvenate lead, L acid battery, auto setting 12 to 48 volts, that's good. Working amp 0.04 amps, so that's 40 milliamps max. Peak amp 4 amps max. Peak voltage 60 to 100 volts. Frequency 10 kilohertz. Off working amp 5 milliamps. And of course, all the best stuff made in China. So I'm looking for screw holes and I see a little divot. And the camera really can't pick it up, but I see a hole, or a recess, I should say, right there where the M and P come together. You can see how it's pulled down slightly. So what I wanted to do is just hook this thing up to a battery and hook a scope up to it and see, is it actually doing, well, anything? So I think before I do that, I'm going to get my regulated power supply out here, and I'm going to set it to about 13.5 volts. And then I'm just going to connect the leads here. And let me check the current limit. I'm going to short my leads together. And I'm going to set it at 1 amp max. Okay, the current has been set to a current limit of 1 amp. I'm just going to go ahead and connect these leads. And 13.4, that's about what I have on the power supply. 13.3. And it's telling me it's a 12 volt battery, yes. And the pulsing light should begin to blink, because I have not pressed the button. It is doing something. So the power supply is telling me it's 110 milliamps that's drawing. Zero now. And 110 again. So I think I want to hook the scope up to this and look at the waveform on the oscilloscope while it is connected to the power supply. One moment, please. Okay, so here is a sample of the waveform on the oscilloscope with just the power supply connected. As you can see, it says 62 kilohertz, 15.8 microseconds, and a peak-to-peak voltage of 4.1, 4.2. It's actually averaging 4.04, and my battery voltage is at 13.5 volts. So you can see the waveform right there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this, and I will connect an actual, I think it's about a 5.5 amp hour lead acid battery from a backup power supply. And I just want to see what's going on here. So looking at this, when it actually controls, it looks like it pulls down, releases, and then there's an inductor in there somewhere, that's battery voltage, and it pulls down again, and it just keeps repeating this cycle over and over again. Okay, one moment while I get the actual lead acid battery connected, and we will take a look at that. So here is the waveform connected to the battery terminal, and I wonder if I can get, well, peak to peak is 0.6 volts. That's it. Wow, I would have expected much more. So it looks like as it starts, it pulls down, holds it down, releases. That's the inductive spike. I'm not sure why this is climbing, and then it pulls down and releases again, possibly for a microsecond. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if this thing's going to do actually anything at all. So I think the next step is to, as Big Clive says, take this thing to bits. Okay, stopping oscilloscope recording. Okay, so what do you think is holding this thing together? Do you think it's a screw or Torx or something? There you can see the hole that I've actually pushed into it. So I'm just going to grab a Phillips driver, small one, poke it, and then we'll see if it's a Phillips screw. Well, it's coming apart, but it's kind of sticking. Well, it's apart. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and take this out. And we'll take that one out too. And it looks like only the bottom of the board is really populated. What's the pot for? Holy crap. Battery pulsar. Let's turn this around so you can actually see it. And I wonder if we can get some numbers off IC3, and then that's probably the main FET right there. One moment while I zoom this in macro. Okay, so there is the FET 100N34. And looking over here, now let me find a pointing device of some type. Well, I'll just use the screwdriver. So looking over here, we've got a 103, that's a 10K pull down resistor to ground. This is ground right here. And then this trace actually disappears underneath this FET, and it comes to the collector of this driver transistor. The emitter is tied to ground, and then the base most likely goes through maybe this resistor. No. Well, it comes over to here. There's a reverse polarity Zener diode, and then a 100K resistor, 104. That's 10 with 4 zeros. And then this should actually tie back into the output of the microprocessor right there. So there's an inductive coil right there, 6R8. And how does it actually connect to the leads? Well, we've got one lead that goes up underneath. Wow, it's actually got a fuse. Holy crap. That is amazing. Then it comes back through here, a reverse polarity protection diode right there. Wow, it's actually using the diode as a rectifier. That's interesting. Well, maybe it is reverse polarity, because there is the cathode on this side. The anode is on that side. A couple of bypass caps. So this inductor, sorry, I'm jumping around. What is the inductor doing? So there, wow, another FET? Really right now? Okay.